Morning, this is Brian. Today is Tuesday, January 17th, 2023, and I'm here along Carmel Valley Road in Del Mar, and today I want to do a spotlight on shrubs video. Today's spotlight is on the desert arrowweed, which is this shrub. This is Pluchea sericea. Pluchea sericea is a tall evergreen shrub in the sunflower family, the Asteraceae. And I don't come across this plant very often, but every now and then I'll get lucky and spot this. And I've known about this population over here for years because I've come down here to visit many times in the past. So what we got here is a very tall, lanky shrub. Kind of tall, kind of lanky, up to maybe about 10 feet tall. And is characterized by these relatively narrow leaves right here, as you can see. So, for people familiar with the sunflower family plants, the plants are quite variable within the family. And this shrub is no different. So what we have here is, again, lanky, tall stature, quite leafy. Leaves are maybe about up to maybe about 2 inches tall, maybe slightly longer on more vigorous stems. But as you'll see here, we're kind of in a marshy environment. We're not that far from the Pacific Ocean, which is just over there. That's North Torrey Pines Road over there. So these plants tend to grow in low-lying, marshy areas, a lot of times next to rivers and creeks, sometimes ponds. And they're quite vigorous and fast-growing plants. And they're very similar to another plant I spotlighted last year called mule fat, Baccharis salicifolia, subspecies salicifolia. Now, this plant, again, has very similar habit and grows in quite similar habitats to mule fat, which also likes stream-side, brook-side, marsh-side environments that occasionally are inundated with water, or at least close enough to where they can get the roots down into it. And the leaves are quite similarly shaped to mule fat. Difference is mule fat leaves are usually much longer and have a very sticky, resinous aroma. These ones really don't have that sticky, resinous aroma, especially if you just simply rub a leaf. You're not going to really notice anything. Again, stature-wise, they are quite similar to the mule fats. The only difference is the bark is a little smoother. You can see some of these lower stems here kind of have a smooth, medium gray. I don't really see a lot of furrowing in them like you would on older mule fat shrubs. And the flowers are similar, or should I say flowerheads, being an Asteraceae, a sunflower family plant. So the flowerheads are similar only in shape. So as you've seen, mule fat flower heads are more of a whitish color. The flower heads on Pluchea sericea are reddish to pinkish. So when this plant's in full bloom, you'll see little pom-poms of pinkish flower heads. It's quite an attractive shrub. I don't know how amenable it is to cultivation. I have not tried growing this plant. I would assume, based on my experience with Asteraceae, that it probably wouldn't be that difficult. But yes, you see here we have a very marshy habitat, which is quite preferred by this plant. Right here, near the ocean. So Pluchea sericea is scattered through Southern California. and I'll post the more formal range of this plant. But places where I've seen it, and I don't see this plant very often. I've seen it over in Santiago Oaks Regional Park in Orange County. I've seen it here quite a bit here, and I've also seen it near Lake Hodges, near Escondido and San Marcos. So I've seen it up there as well, right near the shore of Lake Hodges. So again, likes riparian, marshy, and sometimes disturbed habitats with which this plant can cultivate and proliferate quite rapidly. As you can see here, we've got a whole line of them here. So we've got a nice little population over here, right near the ocean. So they do like the coastal, and I believe they also like growing in the desert, hence the name desert arrowweed, which is one of the common names of this shrub. And of course, being that it also grows in disturbed sites, it'll share habitats with this very large coyote brush here, this very well old established coyote brush, Baccharis pilaris consanguinea, and sometimes with Laurel Sumac, Malosma laurina. But then it also grows with a lot of the riparian trees like the different willows, sycamores, and cottonwoods as well. So here we are. A lot of times you'll get dense populations of this plant. So again, when it's in full bloom, usually more in the later winter to spring months, this thing will be caught up in beautiful, beautiful pinkish to reddish tones due to the flower heads. And then when the plant goes to seed, there's not much seed left on these plants here, but I think I saw some over towards where I began filming this video. Seed heads are quite similar to these, but I'll show you if I can find some. Thought I saw some over here somewhere. Bear with me. Here we are. Here are the old seed heads of this plant. There we go. Kind of dandelion-like. Again, very characteristic of Asteraceae. So we all know that a lot of these plants have a lot of characteristics similar to the other Asteraceae, coyote brush. So again, this is Pluchea sericea, desert arrowweed. Not in my experience, it's an extremely common find, but I've seen it on a few occasions, and it's always a pleasure to see. So finally, got to a population where I can do a spotlight video on this plant. So let's take some time to appreciate its beautiful willowy stature. Again, here's a close-up of the trunks of this plant. More of a grayish color. Not much in the way of furrowing. And it is woody based, as it is a shrub. And there you have it. I will leave you off with a nice imagery of the grayish, greenish leaves. Some of the leaves lower down on the stem tend to be larger, of course. That's to be expected in a lot of Asteraceae. Leaves towards the tip are usually smaller. Leaves towards the bottom are usually the longer leaves. And there you have it. Desert arrowweed from here in Del Mar. This is my spotlight on shrubs. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on another episode.